In the beginning, the Creator stated that the luminaries in the heavens were not just for light, but for signs. In the original Hebrew, oth, a signal, a beacon, a marking of time that transcends human calendars. For 7 years, between August 2017 and April 2024, the sun and the moon performed a precise mathematical dance over the modern world's leading superpower, drawing a giant X across the heart of the continent. While the world treated these as tourist events, the 2026 dossier reveals a much more ancient and terrifying reality. The path of the 2017 eclipse began in Salem, Oregon, and ended in Salem, South Carolina. The word Salem means peace. But the 2024 eclipse moved in the opposite direction, passing through multiple towns named Nineveh. This isn't a coincidence. It is a forensic marking. In the Paleo-Hebrew alphabet, on the letter Tav, the final letter of the alphabet, was written as a cross or an X. It literally means the mark, or the end of the matter. Today we open the archive on the 7-year sign. We examine the mathematical convergence of the 2023 Ring of Fire that completed the Hebrew letter Aleph in the sky, and we reveal why the year 2026 is the moment the residue of these signs begins to physically manifest in our reality. The sky has spoken. The mark has been set. Now, the judgment begins. To understand the X, we must go back to August 21st, 2017. The Great American Eclipse was the first total solar eclipse to cross the United States from coast to coast in nearly a century. But it wasn't the duration that caught the attention of the celestial investigators. It was the geography. The path of totality touched exactly 7 towns named Salem. In the original Hebrew, Salem is shalom. It is the root for Jerusalem. It is the announcement of peace. But in the biblical context, a sign of peace given to a nation that has turned away from the ancient paths is often a warning of the peace that is about to be taken away. The leaked dossier suggests that this was the first stroke of the Tav. It was a call to repentance, a 7-year warning period, identical to the cycles of Joseph in Egypt. The 2017 eclipse crossed the 33rd parallel in South Carolina. It happened in the same year that the world celebrated the 50th anniversary of Jerusalem's unification. The dossier suggests that the 2017 event was a title deed being unrolled in the heavens. But a single line is not a mark. You need a second stroke to complete the Tav. For 7 years, the world waited in the gap, a period marked by global upheaval, a planetary lockdown, and a shifting of the geopolitical tectonic plates. The sign was hanging over us, waiting for its completion. On April 8, 2024, the second stroke was drawn. This path was even more specific. It passed through 7 towns named Nineveh in North America. Nineveh is the biblical symbol of a superpower on the brink of destruction. It was the city to which Jonah was sent with a 40-day warning. And according to ancient records, a total solar eclipse occurred over Nineveh during the exact time of Jonah's ministry. The 2024 eclipse was the Celestial Jonah. It signaled that the 7-year warning period of the 2017 Salem eclipse had ended. The message shifted from peace to repentance or ruin. The leaked memos from theological investigators in 2026 point out that the intersection of the 2017 and 2024 eclipses, the exact center of the X, occurred over a region in southern Illinois known as Little Egypt. Why Little Egypt? Because Egypt is the biblical symbol of the world system. The X was placed over the heart of the world system, marking it for the Exodus events of Revelation. The dossier highlights that the distance between the 2017 and 2024 eclipses was exactly 2,422 days. When you divide that by the biblical month of 30 days, you find a sequence that aligns perfectly with the 7-year tribulation templates found in the book of Daniel. But the Tav wasn't the only letter written in the sky. In October 2023, an annular solar eclipse, a ring of fire, crossed the United States between the two total eclipses. When you map the path of the 2017, the 2024, and the 2023 eclipses together, they do not just form an X. They form the Paleo-Hebrew letter Aleph. The Aleph is the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet. It represents the creator, the strength, the beginning. The Tav is the last letter. By drawing the Aleph and the Tav over the earth, the heavens were literally stating, "I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end." The 2026 dossier refers to this as the signature of the king. It is a claim of ownership. The leaked memos from the Strategic Prophecy Group indicate that this sign was the final celestial notice of foreclosure on the current world era. It signaled that the times of the Gentile nations are coming to a close. That the 2023 Ring of Fire was the horizontal stroke that connected the two X paths, turning a sign of judgment into a sign of the presence of the Almighty. In 2026, we are living in the aftermath of that signature. The ink has dried, and the terms of the covenant are now being enforced on the ground. Why does this matter now, in 2026? Because signs in the heavens always precede events on the earth. In the biblical model, there is a delay, a period of grace between the sign and the event. The 7-year cycle ended in April 2024. In the Hebrew calendar, 2024 to 2025 was a year of transition. But as we enter 2026, the dossier suggests we have entered the manifestation phase. We are seeing the physical breakdown of the systems that were marked by the eclipses. And the X over Little Egypt predicted a divide, a fracture in the unity of the global powers. In 2026, that fracture is no longer a theory. It is a geopolitical and economic reality. The Nineveh warning of 2024 is now manifesting as a call to the remnant to separate from the collapsing structures. The leaked memos suggest that the eclipses were a frequency shift. They altered the spiritual atmosphere of the planet, making it impossible for the old world order to maintain its grip. The X, created by the 2017 and 2024 eclipses, was a natural, predictable alignment of celestial mechanics. But the 2026 dossier contains a startling observation. Natural eclipses are merely the rehearsal. In the book of Revelation, the sixth seal describes a darkness that defies the laws of physics. It says, "The sun became black as sackcloth of hair." In a standard eclipse, the moon covers the sun for a few minutes, but the leaked memos discuss an anomaly they expect to manifest as the residue of the 7-year sign. They call it the solar suppression event. This isn't just an alignment, it's a collapse of the sun's photoluminescent output. The dossier suggests that the 7-year sign was the calibration for a cosmic judicial decree. When the Tav, the mark of completion, was finished in April 2024, it initiated a countdown toward the Great Darkness. In 2026, we are seeing the beginning of this entropic decay. Satellite data, scrubbed from public view, shows a decrease in the sun's luminosity that cannot be explained by sunspot cycles. The sign was the warning. The seal is the reality. We aren't just waiting for an eclipse. We are waiting for the sun itself to turn away from a world that has rejected its source. Location is everything in the Celestial Dossier. The point where the 2017 and 2024 eclipses crossed, the crossroads of America, is not just a quiet rural area. It is the epicenter of the new Madrid Fault line. In the early 19th century, this fault produced some of the most powerful earthquakes in human history, so strong they made the Mississippi River flow backward. The leaked memos suggest that the 7-year celestial sign was a piezoelectric trigger. When the shadow of the moon passes over a specific point of seismic tension twice within a 7-year biblical window, it creates a gravitational stress harmonic. The X was not just a mark on a map, it was a physical pin pushed into a volatile tectonic system. The 2026 dossier indicates that the residue of the 2024 eclipse is now manifesting as deep crust tremors that are being mislabeled by the media. The truth is far more biblical. The great earthquake of the sixth seal is tied to the completion of the Tav. The heavens mark the spot. The earth is now preparing to respond. Revelation 6 says the moon became as blood. For years, prophecy teachers pointed to the blood moon tetrads. But the 2026 dossier suggests those were merely the invitations. The original Hebrew for blood moon implies more than just a red hue. It implies a change in the atmosphere, a witness of the blood shed upon the earth. The leaked reports from atmospheric researchers describe a particulate convergence that the 7-year sign has initiated. As the Earth's magnetic field weakens, a process that has accelerated significantly since 2024, the way the moon reflects light is changing. In 2026, we are entering the crimson window. The dossier suggests that the moon is acting as a planetary mirror of judgment. It is reflecting back the state of the world's spiritual health. The 7-year sign was the setting of the lens. Now, the image is coming into focus. The moon is no longer just a nightlight. It is a celestial evidence board, and it is reporting that the cup of iniquity is full. The most profound revelation in the 2026 dossier is the neural impact of the 7-year sign. Celestial events are not just visual, they are frequency-based. The completion of the Aleph Tav over the Earth has initiated a cosmic frequency shift. The leaked memos indicate that since April 2024, the human pineal gland, the seat of the soul, has been reacting to the new celestial harmonics. The 7-year sign was a retuning of the planetary consciousness. For those who are aligned, this shift is bringing a supernatural clarity, an unveiling of the celestial dossier. But for those who are tied to the world system, the residue of the Tav is manifesting as the great delusion. Their frequencies are no longer compatible with the truth. This is the unsealing of the mind. The eclipses weren't just in the sky, they were in the spirit. In 2026, the divide is becoming physical. You are either moving into the light of the Aleph, or you are being eclipsed by the shadow of the Tav. Why did the global elite spend billions on survival bunkers specifically between 2017 and 2024? Now, the 2026 dossier contains a leaked risk assessment from major defense contractors. It wasn't just about war or pandemics. It was about the celestial trigger. The elite understand the X. They know that the completion of the Tav signals the opening of the sixth seal. They have read the prophecy. And the kings of the earth hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. They aren't building bunkers to survive a political collapse. They are building them to hide from the face of him that sitteth on the throne. The dossier reveals that the 2026 activation of these bunkers has already begun. The leaders of the world are moving underground because they can see the residue of the sign better than the public can. They see the stars beginning to tremble. They see the sky receding as a scroll. Or they are attempting a technological escape from a judicial event. But as the 2024 sign proved, there is no corner of the earth where the X does not reach. The 7-year sign is closed. The Tav is drawn. The Aleph is set. We are no longer living in the time of the warning. We are living in the time of the manifestation. In 2026, the residue of the eclipses is a world that has been irrevocably marked. The systems are failing, the earth is groaning, and the sky is preparing its final act. The X over Little Egypt was the signature of the end of an era. The archive is open, but the clock is ticking. The sixth seal does not stay open forever. It leads to the silence of the seventh. The question is no longer, when will the sign happen? But where will you be when the sign finishes its work? The 2026 dossier is active. Watch the sky. For your redemption or your judgment draws nigh. The mark has been set, the case is unsealed.